Hey everyone, this is Michelle Glover with Batter and Bowl Bakery. It's the holiday season and we are about to make our famous eggnog pound cake. We're going to start out with greasing and flouring our Nordic pan and setting it to the side. We're going to start the recipe by putting in 2 sticks of softened butter and begin the creaming process. To that, we're going to add a half a cup of solid vegetable oil and allow those two elements to mix together in our mixer. As those two things are mixing, we are going to measure out 3 cups of granulated sugar, and we're going to add that sugar into the oil and butter mixture a cup at a time and allow it to mix until it becomes fluffy. Next, we're going to add 5 eggs, one at a time, and allow those to mix as well into our mixture. And then we're going to add 1.5 cups of our main ingredient, which is eggnog. You can find eggnog at any store. Use any brand that you desire. We're going to allow those things to mix together really well and become a nice soupy mixture. As we are mixing those, we are then going to measure out a tablespoon of 3 types of extracts. We're going to start with 1 butter, 1 almond, and 1 rum extract to put into your batter. Now, if you want a stronger cake, you can use rum extract for all 3 of your tablespoons, or you can even use actual rum that has the alcohol in it as well, depending on your audience for the cake. All of those will work. It will give it a nice, unique taste that is specific to eggnog or a spiked eggnog. So whatever your choice is. So we're going to mix in those particular extracts and get those to mix very evenly. We have a lot of wet ingredients in our batter right now. And we're going to be sure not to over mix, but to make sure that things are just mixed even enough so that everything is blended together. And you can see that it is a nice wet mixture that we've put together. Now we're going to measure out 3 cups of self-rising flour. Once measured out, we are going to sift it into the wet mixture as I'm showing here. Getting an electronic sifter is one of the best utensils that you can have in your bakery, in your kitchen. It makes life easier and it helps to remove any lumps in your flour. Once the flour has been sifted, we are then going to put in 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. The nutmeg will just add just a little bit of a spicy kick to your cake and will help to round out those flavors. So we're going to put it back under the mixer and slowly we're going to mix the dry ingredients into the wet. Again, you want to be careful not to over mix your batter as you don't want to put holes in it. Once the mixture or the batter has been mixed very well, we're then going to pour it into our floured and greased pan. As you can see, I'm doing there. You're going to make sure that the batter is evenly around the pan, and you're going to take a skewer and go through your batter to make sure that there are no air bubbles or air pockets in your batter. If you have those, you will run the risk of your cake tunneling and you having humongous holes in your cake, and you don't want that. So use a skewer to get those extra bubbles out. We're going to put this cake in at 325 degrees for 1 hour and 5 to an hour and 10 minutes. And here you have it here, 1 hour later. And as it is cooling for 10 minutes, you would flip it out and allow it to cool for 1 hour. While the cake is cooling for 1 hour, I am putting together a eggnog glaze. So I'm using about 5 to 7 tablespoons of confectioner sugar. And we're going to add about 2 teaspoons of eggnog. Now it is strictly up to you, and I'm going to whisk it together there. It's strictly up to you the level of confectioner sugar and eggnog you want to put in. It depends on how thick or thin you want your glaze. I prefer a thicker glaze to put over any of my pound cakes, but specifically our eggnog pound cake, because I want the taste of the cake, but I also want that smooth taste of the eggnog glaze over the cake. Once you get to your desired consistency, you can see I am about to pour my glaze over my cooled pound cake, and we're just going to let it flow off the sides, and we're also going to put it in the middle as well. We're going to cover as much of the cake as we can, but allow it to drizzle in its own way. And that is a beautiful, beautiful cake. Put your glaze on however you see fit, as much as you want, as little as you want. Once your glaze has been applied to your cake, I also take just a few sprinkles of nutmeg and sprinkle it over our pound cake, just to give it an extra garnish, a little extra kick. And there you have it. There is your eggnog pound cake, and you will love this recipe. It is great during the holidays. Now, I have to always get a slice and taste it for myself to make sure that things are the way that they should be. So I'm cutting a slice out of the eggnog pound cake now. We sell these online in slices as well as a whole cake, and we also sell them on the Market Wagon platform in slices. So here we are cutting out a nice slice, and it looks really well. Pound cakes, as you know, are very heavy cakes, and so it's very important that it bakes at the right temperature and at the right time, because while it is a heavy cake, you also want it to maintain its moisture as well. So there you have it, a slice of our eggnog pound cake that has been properly glazed. Now let's taste it and see how it tastes. It is very, very good. This is a necessity during the holidays. It's an easy cake to make, but it is a delightful cake. Your guests will love it. Thank you. And if you'd like to find this recipe, you may go to our website or also subscribe to our channels at Batter and Bowl Bakery TV. Thank you.